Hey everyone, Dr. Ryan Wakeham here, successful entrepreneur and your endgame coach. I'm here to talk to you today about the recession, about inflation, about the concept or idea around how do you make a dollar stretch further now as an owner operator, small business owner, someone who's trying to both do right by your employees with the cost of wages and the great resignation going on, but also keep in mind or keep track of where you want to be with your end game as time moves on. And one of the things David Meltzer talks a lot about is this idea of truly successful individuals become even more successful during a recession. And that's because they can first afford mistakes. The definition of an entrepreneur is someone who can afford their mistakes. So when there is an economic downturn, or the cost of inflation goes up and the cost of goods rise, there's those who have kind of saved wisely or planned appropriately or have some amount of liquidity are able to weather the storm, so to speak, and then bounce back even stronger. Or frankly, have the means through which to take advantage of opportunities that exist in economic downturns, whether that's real estate related or otherwise. But probably the most important point I want to make today is the idea of not losing track of where you want to be in terms of your end game as you work your way both through the recession into better times ahead. And so again, one of those can absolutely be having the wherewithal, the opportunity, the financial capability to go out and be a buyer in this market. Because again, as when recessions occur and inflation occurs, it is not uncommon for those who are of a scarcity mindset or don't have the means to go out and sell cheap. And so now might be a perfect opportunity for your business to go buy something on the cheap if you have that economic flexibility. And so, what that might mean is acquiring another practice. If you're a healthcare professional, this might be a time where individuals in your field, colleagues, might be either looking to go towards a corporate or a hospital based system. So, they might be looking to exit private practice or an ownership stake and move into a pure employee model. Or it might be a time in their career when they're it's the right moment for them to move on, the right moment for them to take retirement, the right moment for them to focus on family. I think if nothing else, what COVID has taught us, and now moving into the recession, is that people now more than ever value their time. They value a work-life balance, and so mothers with young children, there's any number of individuals who might find themselves in this moment desirous of moving to part time, again, getting away from the owner operator mindset and stress, and either might be looking to just close their practice or business, or might be looking to sell either to a larger organization or someone like yourself. So now's a moment in time to look for not just real estate opportunities, if you are a buyer and believer in the whole real estate market and all the tax advantages that can come with that, which by the way can be a parallel process to looking at your small business as an owner operator and how you might acquire or merge with other either like-minded individuals in terms of a merger or um, with individuals who are looking to exit this environment, whether it's financially driven for work-life balance purposes or whatever the case may be. Now's the time to be a buyer. And so, as you think about the recession and inflation, you think about wage pressures, you think about again everything I just talked to you about. Now's an opportunity to really get strategic about how you might be a buyer for your business, for your end game in this moment in time. I'd also urge you to not lose track of the other critically important things in this in this environment, which are all the things you'll hear me preach about as a psychiatrist, which include healthy mindset, which include healthy health set and physical activity. Taking care of yourself now more than ever becomes critically important as you think about elevated cortisol levels in the setting of financial stresses or the setting of what the markets might mean, not just for your bank account, but also for your day-to-day life and the stress that comes with it. Now's a moment in time to really lean in and care for yourself. And in my opinion, those who find themselves in the mindset of abundance and this concept of being a buyer in a recession or in a economic inflation, mixed with or in context or matrix with the idea of being healthy first, being having a healthy mindset and focus in this moment in time really is a very powerful combination and can create unbelievable opportunities as we come out of this recession into kind of the next chapter of the American economy, so to speak. So now is a moment in time to care for yourself and get very strategic on how you can, again, shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, who you can merge with, who you can align with, who you can partner with, or frankly, who you can acquire, because now more than ever might be an opportunity to buy something cheaper or easier than you otherwise would. It's a time to consider seller financing if you think about, again, the debt markets and where interest rates are at this moment in time. And again, thinking about others wanting to get out and not wanting to deal with the stress of a recession and inflation and interest rates. They might be more than willing to do some sort of seller finance at a otherwise reasonable interest rate as compared to going out and getting getting funding now from the bank. You can always refinance with time as the interest rates drop. But if you think about being a buyer, being an acquirer, and you're thinking about just, again, liquidity, cash flow, interest rates, debts, now might be a time to approach a seller and potentially do some sort of um, atypical or kind of off-market financing option, which is another key way to kind of keep building your infrastructure and or your vision without necessarily having to go assume what otherwise might be considered expensive debt. So, again, key highlights here. Number one, scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset. Now's a moment in time. If you can get strategic and be, if you've conserved some powder, so to speak, now might be a moment in time to be a buyer. This is a buyer's market, and whatever that might mean for your industry or business. Caring for yourself, health set, mindset, critically important. I'm always reminded of, I do travel a fair bit. I'm always reminded of being on a flight and the flight attendant talking about, making sure you put your mask on before you put on, a mask for someone else. And that is, you can't care, again, this goes back to being a healthcare professional too, but you can't care for others if you haven't cared for yourself. So take care of yourself first. That's critically important as cortisol levels and stress and the economy struggles. Now's a moment in time to lean in for yourself, for your own health and mindset, and to lean into abundance and opportunity and get creative. Again, there are creative financing options available in these moments in time specifically, and understand what those might be. Figure out how that might fit into your overall strategy of growth and tackle the recession as a buyer with abundance and not as a seller in scarcity. Remember that in this moment in time, those who can overcome the recession and show continued growth or um, you know capitalize on opportunities and expanded the horizon in the period of recession or in the moments of recession and inflation. If you're going to sell to some sort of private equity group, this is really a stress test. And so for you to be able to show that you've not only overcome or survived the recession, but that you've in fact thrived during the recession, is yet another feather in the cap towards an endgame strategy with a possible financer like a private equity group. Again, I'm Dr. Ryan Wakeham, successful entrepreneur and your endgame coach. I'm here to teach you how to exist today so that you may expand tomorrow in spite of the recession and create the ultimate endgame of your desires. Talk to you soon.